Hi, I'm Matt Amarello, Chairman of the Massachusetts Turnpike Authority. The video you're about to see is a program we put together to educate you, the general public, on what we've built here in the city of Boston. Over the next several weeks, we'll be opening two major phases of this project. Phase 1, the connection of the Mass Turnpike to the Ted Williams Tunnel, both east and westbound. Phase 2, I-93 northbound, which will be opening a couple of weeks after the Turnpike openings. And then Phase 3 and 4, which we'll be showing you later in 2003, early 2004. And that'll be Phase 3, the I-93 southbound, and then Phase 4, the demolition of the Artery, the restoration of surface streets, and the construction of parks in downtown Boston. We appreciate all your support over the years of the construction of this project. It certainly has been a great challenge to all of us here in Massachusetts. This video, hosted by Billy Costa, local radio and TV personality, will be an opportunity for us to show you what you'll be driving on in the coming months as we open these major components of this highway system. I want to thank you on behalf of all the men and women of the Massachusetts Turnpike Authority and the men and women who've built this project. Without your support, this wouldn't be here today.
Welcome to the Central Artery Tunnel Project, or as it is more commonly known, the Big Dig. For more than a decade now, its cranes and construction sites have had a constant presence on the streets of downtown Boston. Well, now it's about to become a major highway that everybody, including you, will be driving on. Hi, I'm Billy Costa. In this program, we're going to take a look at some of the new roadways and what they will look like in the first year. And because so much of this project is underground, knowing where you're going and what to expect when you get there can make a big difference in getting there.
First off, we're going to take a look at I-90, the Mass Pike, which is the first phase of the project that opens. Now, some of the benefits we're going to see: direct access for all drivers to and from Logan via the Ted Williams Tunnel. There will be a new exit 24 to South Station and I-93 North. And there's a new exit 25 to and from South Boston, a new direct connection to and from Route 1A. And I-93 North drivers can take exit 20 to connect to I-90. Now, there are some very cool facts to go along with this new highway. For instance, you'll notice colored tiles on the tunnel walls. Well, the teal-colored tiles on Interstate 90 means you're underwater. I-90 finally goes from coast to coast, from Seattle all the way to Boston, over 3,000 miles. Now get this, the Ted Williams Tunnel, opened in December of '95, can now be used by everybody. We all get to use the Ted. Now, those strange-looking buildings you see around town, those are ventilation buildings. And by the way, they can replace all of the air in the tunnels in 3 minutes. It's also the largest jacked tunnel operation under live railway lines. We'll get into that a little bit later. And there are 6 immersed tunnel tubes that are about 50,000 tons each. These are gigantic, and they were floated into position above the red line to form an underwater bridge.
The traveler coming in from the west, instead of having to get off, I'll go this way. We'll be able to go all the way through to South Boston and get off. We'll continue on to the airport and do like we're doing today, or we'll be able to come right up and head on to the North Shore through the 1A connection. In addition, the same weekend, we will allow traffic to come down through the airport, enter the new toll facility, run through the Ted Williams Tunnel, get off, or continue its trip west back home.
We're standing at I-90 West. We should mention to folks that we are now underground. We are in the famous tunnels. And this is the first stretch of roadway that will be opening as part of Big Dig.
That is correct.
All right, why don't you walk us through it? We are where exactly?
We are right now underneath the South Boston waterfront, right underneath where the new Convention Center and the World Trade Center exist on the South Boston waterfront. We're on 2 lanes of what will be I-90 westbound, otherwise known as the Mass Pike.
Okay.
To get here, you have come from the Ted Williams Tunnel in Logan Airport.
Because on top of us right now, all of these people are in congestion, right?
That's correct. There's about 30,000 vehicles a day today that come out of the Williams Tunnel. They kind of snake their way on various streets and then try to get on the Pike and go to points west. On the day we open this up, that traffic will be down here, traveling at 45 miles an hour with nothing to stop it, and just keep going, and you'll end up at the Prudential Tunnel and the Mass Pike.
And then what?
Then we're going to open on the same weekend I-90 eastbound.
Eastbound. And is eastbound right on the other side of that wall?
In fact, it is. It's right up these steps on the other side of this wall.
Well, this is very cool. So I get to see east and west. All right.
So again, two lanes right here of I-90 westbound.
I-90 west.
Then here's a cross passage
And of
connecting
course,
the
we're
two.
not suggesting anyone else cut through.
No, absolutely not. Only in cases of emergency.
So this is eastbound.
This is 2 lanes of I-90 eastbound. Imagine you've come on the Mass Pike from Route 128,
Okay.
or you've gotten on in Cambridge and you go through the Prudential Tunnel on I-90 eastbound. Today the Mass Pike sort of dead ends at the Southeast Expressway.
Right.
Now it's not going to do that anymore. You stay to the right, and 2 lanes of I-90 eastbound will enter into a new tunnel underneath 4-Point Channel, come under the South Boston waterfront, and come right to where we're standing right here.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
More people who don't have to go through the city.
Well, these people are going to experience, I think, among the best travel time savings of anything we do. Today, if you come down the Mass Pike during rush hour, there's always a 2-mile queue as you try to fight your way into the Dewey Square Tunnel, get up on the elevated Central Artery, get off at the right-hand exit to the Callahan Tunnel to get over to Logan Airport. From the Prudential Tunnel alone during rush hour, it could take 30 to 40 minutes to get over to Logan Airport. Now imagine staying in this new tunnel here, going underneath the 4-Point Channel, the South Boston waterfront where we are right now, and right past this curve connecting up in the Williams Tunnel. At 45 miles an hour, it should take 7 minutes to get from the Prudential Tunnel over to Logan Airport, even during the middle of rush hour.
And then if you're going North Shore, zip right out to the North Shore.
A direct connection up to Route 1A. You don't even have to touch one of the roadways leading in and out of the terminals at Logan Airport.
In addition, 1 week later, we'll open up another key move, benefit the South Shore. People coming up from the South Shore will get off on exit 20 right at the Mass Ave. It's a new exit that opens up. We'll run in the parallel structure, enter our tunnel, and run parallel with eastbound in a separate tunnel with a choice to get off in South Boston or finally to merge into eastbound.
All right, so this lane here, this ramp coming down, these are going to be people coming from the Mass Pike from west to Boston.
That's correct.
But then there's another ramp coming from this direction here. Who are these people going to be?
These are people that come up the Southeast Expressway from Braintree and Quincy, and they're people who exit the Southeast Expressway at new exit 20 back by the Mass Ave interchange, and then they'll enter into their own separate tunnel underneath the 4-Point Channel, and then right here they join up with the 2 lanes of I-90 eastbound, and together they go up and into the Ted Williams Tunnel, over to Logan Airport and Route 1A and points north of Boston.
So these are the people from the South Shore. These are the people coming from west of Boston.
That's correct.
They all merge and they all just go free and easy, right?
They'll feel like they went to heaven. What's real important for folks to understand is if you come from west of Boston or from the south and you want to go over to Logan Airport.
Okay, yeah, this is the learning curve, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Not only should you take this new section of I-90 eastbound, but you've got to take I-90
You
eastbound.
will not have an option. If you're coming south from south of Boston, you cannot go Callahan Tunnel anymore.
That's correct.
Now, some people have asked about if I'm coming from the north and want to get to I-90 to go out to South Boston or to the airport itself. Well, first of all, you don't need to, and the move doesn't exist. If you're coming from the north, you're coming down, you're going to continue to go to the airport as you have before through the Callahan Tunnel and return through the Sumner Tunnel. The benefit you're going to get is you're not competing with other people from the west or other people from the south for that same tunnel structure. Now you have your own, and they have their own. So the efficiency of the overall travel and commute will be much improved.
I know, everybody's dying to celebrate the big dig, but hold it for just a minute. Before I get to the next phase, I-93 northbound, more fun facts, really cool stuff about this big dig project.
All right, Sean, you put all the technical talk aside.
Yep.
All right? working as closely as you have with the Big Dig, what's the coolest thing about this project?
I think some of the coolest thing, you're actually standing on the bridge right now, which is probably the coolest structure you're ever going to see.
Oh, yeah.
Massive project like this. Look at this, right here. There's a hole in the bridge for a reason. You know why? We had to design the bridge so that light could get through because of the alewife migration needs. We need to let the alewife migrate from the Charles River Basin all the way up to the Charles River.
The alewife, is that a fish?
It's a fish. We take care of every species.
You had to cut holes in the Zachem Bridge to allow for what? Sunlight?
Correct. We had to design the bridge. It's pretty cool. We had to design the bridge, part of our environmental impact statement. We had to design the bridge so that light could get through, because with too much of a shadow, the alewife will actually go, if it's too dark, they'll turn around and go back. They won't migrate up the river. So we had to allow light to get through the bridge, and because the bridge is so wide, it's 10 lanes wide. That's a nice wide bridge. Way too much of a shadow for the alewife.
Too much shade.
Way too much shade. So that's why we have some light going right through this bridge, both here and on the edges. So that way you get people right through. And fish.
Can you fish here?
You
No.
can.
No, you cannot fish here, folks.
Cause a major traffic jam.
Leave the rods home when coming over the Zachem Bridge.
Yes.
This project is an engineer's dream in the sense that just about all the technology that's out there we've found a way to employ to our advantage. And in many cases we've taken something from this and something from that and something from the other and put them together and then done them together in combination for the first time. In other cases we've taken something done at a small scale and found a way, boy, this would be great if we could do this, but at a really big scale. Other people have jacked an 84-inch pipe. How about jacking a 40 by 90 piece of tunnel? Things of that nature. This project has only been able to be done because we're standing on the shoulders of those who have done things ahead of us, and we've just taken it to a new level. So from an engineer's point of view, this project is really cool.
Sean, give me another one. Fun fact.
Another fun fact, cool thing. 4-point channel crossing over where Gillette is. It's the I-90 portion of the project. We actually had to cross that waterway somehow. At the same time, we have the red line underneath us, so we couldn't tunnel through there. What we devised was basically an underwater bridge. We built 6 concrete tunnel sections right next to Gillette. We flooded the casting basin where they were built so that they would basically pop up just like a ship in a dry dock.
Right.
You float them out into the 4-point channel, and then we sink them. We control their sink, but we sink them in the 4-point channel so that they line up like a Lego block. They line up with the caissons that are down into bedrock. And the red line is underneath them the whole time.
And running?
And running. We did it during rush hour. And one of these box tunnels, they're so big, one of them weighs the same as Battleship Massachusetts, about 50,000 tons. So this is huge engineering, massive scale, but yet very delicate, because as we bring this down, the variance of difference that the men and women did to basically building this, you could not be off by more than an inch. If you're off by an inch, you got problems. And they did it, not a problem in the world, and it was a great job.
I can tell you one of the most exciting things and one of the coolest things we've done is the tunnel jacking system that we put into this project, connecting the 4-point channel to the Turnpike, was when we froze the earth 60 feet down, 12 months out of the air, actually froze the ground solid and jacked tunnels through it. An incredible feat of engineering, and actually we won an international award for that technology use here in Boston.
Hey, what kind of stuff did you guys find when you were digging over there?
You know what? We found, one day we got a call. I got a call in my office, and it was a big deal. Everybody showed up. The media was down. They thought they hit a gravesite in downtown Boston over by the North End. All the cameras are there. Everyone's there. It's big news. I contact the archaeological department over at UMass and at Harvard that were helping us as consultants. They show up. They have stacks of books. They're all over the place. They're digging through. They see the headstone. Basically, the students and the professors are there looking at it. Yeah. They start bursting out in laughter. And I'm thinking to myself, what's so funny? This is, what's
a grave here.
A grave here. What's so funny? There was actually a headstone maker, a gravestone maker back about 200 years ago, so that when he was typing in, basically chiseling in the name, if it was wrong, threw it out the back window. It landed out into an old marsh. There was about 16 of them there, and it just sunk down into the old harbor. And that's some of the cool stuff we found.
Okay, let's get back to the second phase of the project, which is I-93 northbound. Here are some of the benefits there. New Exit 20 gives you direct access to South Boston, Logan, and Route 1A. New Exit 23 will get you to Government Center, the North End, the Aquarium, and Faneuil Hall. The new Exit 26 will take you to Storrow Drive, the Fleet Center, and the Museum of Science. And here are some of the cool facts about I-93 North. You'll see terracotta-colored tiles while you're down there. This means you're under the city of Boston. The new 8 to 10 lane underground tunnel now replaces the old elevated highway, and it's built to improve the regional traffic flow through Boston. In other words, there are less exits. And even more amazing engineering feats to tell you about. There are over 16 million cubic yards of earth and landfill that were removed while tunneling through and around Boston. And they used enough U.S. steel to build a railway track around the entire planet. And it has the world's largest and widest asymmetrical cable-stayed bridge.
As you come toward the city, you'll come around this corner at the surface, rise up on a viaduct, and you're going to get a good look at the city of Boston. Then you're going to go down into a tunnel, and for a mile and a half, you will no longer have the visual impact of seeing One Financial Center or the aquarium or Quincy Market or the Custom House as you go through. You're going to have to rely on the signage that's available to you on where you are, what the exit opportunity is to get off, and then you will see the daylight when you're past Boston. So that's going to be a new experience for a lot of people, that you will no longer have the visual cues of the city. So the basic highway will be open all the way through. It will take the place of the existing 3-lane, partly in the Dewey Square Tunnel, mostly elevated through Boston, and it will be a 4-lane facility. For the I-93 roadway, you will stay on the main highway, and you'll rise up over the South Bay interchange area, and then you will dive down into a tunnel that goes under the city just before Neyland Street.
All right, so Glenn, this right behind me now, this is I-93 northbound. It zips right under Chinatown now.
Yeah, this is one of the major features of the Big Dig, which is taking Interstate 93 off of the old elevated Central Artery and putting it underground underneath Boston. So right behind us here is South Station. The new tunnel starts at Neyland Street. You stay underground through the north end, past the Sumner-Callahan tunnels, and right next to the Fleet Center, you start to go back out into the sky, up onto the Zachem Bridge. You take a left exit to the Tobin Bridge, or you stay on 93 North, and the next thing you know, you'll be up in New Hampshire.
When you come to the tunnel entrance, you will go halfway through Boston, and you will have an opportunity to come out. And this will connect you with North Street and Government Center.
All right, so Glenn, if you're coming in from the South Shore, you enter the tunnel right behind us here, and then you'll come upon the first of what's only, what, 2 exits in the system, right?
That's right. There's only 2 exits from the new I-93 northbound into downtown. The first exit is exit 23 that takes you to Government Center, and the second exit is exit 26 that takes you to Star Drive.
And there will not be an exit for the Callahan Tunnel.
That's right, and we need to keep reminding folks about that.
If you select not to get off here, your next opportunity to get off will be a Starro Drive ramp.
Where are we now?
Well, right now, believe it or not, we're underneath the north end in downtown Boston.
All right.
On a 4-lane section of what will be new I-93 North underneath the city and up onto the Zachem Bunker Hill Bridge.
Yeah, it doesn't look that wide because we still have a lot of working vehicles down here and so forth.
Yeah, well, actually, we placed these vehicles here to prove how wide it actually is. You got 1 lane of traffic over here, 2nd lane where we're standing, 3rd lane, and 4th lane where those trailers are over there.
As tunnels go, it is very wide. So this is the second of only 2 downtown exits in this tunnel system, right?
That's right. One of the things the Big Dig is trying to do is reduce the number of on and off ramps compared to the old Central Artery, because that on and off ramp traffic really has a major impact on the traffic flow trying to go from south or west of Boston to points north. So we don't want local traffic sort of taking the highway for one exit and then getting off. We designed the new underground highway so it handles the regional flow. So this is the second exit in the downtown. The signs say exit 26 Starro Drive, but where it really takes you is to Starro Drive, North Station, Leverett Circle, Fleet Center, and the Museum of Science.
One-stop shopping.
That's right, exit 26 Starro Drive.
And then after the Starro exit, you're basically up onto the bridge, the Zachem, and either to Tobin or out of here.
That's exactly right.
So those are really your 2 off-ramps once you are in the tunnel facility. Midtown to Government Center and the Starro Drive exit to Leverett Circle Starro Drive.
All right, Glenn, Keith was talking a lot about the off-ramps and ways of getting out of the tunnels. How about getting in these tunnels?
There are 3 entrances to the new northbound tunnel. Behind us, we have the main side of the tunnel, which is 3 lanes of I-93 North. They entered into the tunnel right at Nealon Street. We just saw that a minute ago. And over here is an entrance ramp, one of the main entrance ramps to the new tunnel. It comes from Interstate 90, the Mass Pike, both west and east. And that lane of traffic coming from the Mass Pike comes in, and the highway tunnel widens from 3 lanes to 4 lanes to accept the Mass Pike.
Yeah, it is amazingly wide in here. Is it possible that when you enter the tunnel, you're actually gaining room, lanes?
It is possible. It's exactly what we're doing, and it's something Boston's not very used to. But I think it's going to be a wonderful surprise for everyone, which is you're going to actually come into the highway, and you don't have to hit your brakes. You don't have to try to merge into traffic that's already on the road. You actually get your own lane on the road. The road widens out to accommodate you, and then everybody continues on north underneath the city.
So what are the other 2 entrances then?
The second on-ramp is from Atlantic Avenue, right across the street from the Moakley Bridge, that takes you down into the northbound tunnel. And the third on-ramp is in the north end, right across the street from the T Haymarket Bus Garage. And you can get into the highway from New Sudbury Street, and you'll be right up onto the Zachem Bridge.
So 2 opportunities from downtown, here in the lower downtown area, or from South Boston to get in at the Moakley Bridge area, and in the Government Center and Haymarket area to go in at the Sudbury Street entrance. The existing elevated highway will have no traffic on it in the northbound direction. It will still be fully functional for all of the southbound traffic.
So Glenn, the northbound is going to be right where we're standing. How about the southbound?
That's right, Billy. The northbound lanes up on the upper deck will be 4 lanes of I-93 North on the Zachem Bunker Hill Bridge. And then the southbound lanes are still going to stay on the old elevated artery for about another 12 months.
Now, after we've opened the northbound facility, southbound traffic will continue substantially as it does today, but not entirely. If you want to go to the airport, you'll be encouraged to get off and exit earlier than you used to, because we will have a ramp open coming from the New Chardon Street area, tying right into the Callahan Tunnel. People on the southbound highway can still get where they want to go. We'll still provide for a ramp to get you out here to Interstate 90. You can still proceed directly onto the southbound highway, or you have an opportunity to get off locally onto Albany Street in that area.
All right, I've got even more very cool, fun facts about the Big Dig. See how these strike you.
Jim, we've been hearing about the Big Dig forever. One of the biggest projects in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
I mean, we've heard it all.
Yeah.
Why is it such a cool project?
You know, I was telling this to someone just the other day, is that there are several engineering feats being done at the same time. I don't want to sound like a cheerleader at this point, but my example, for instance, that throws me is the ventilation systems in here, keeping over 7.5 miles of underground roadway clearly ventilated all the time. That in itself is an interesting challenge.
From an engineering perspective, this project is essentially utopia. I mean, everything that we've had to do on this project, not just from the mechanical, electrical aspects of things, but structurally, geotechnically, we've done things here on this project that have been done for the first time anywhere in the world.
Some of the other cool stuff we actually found old bottles and old containers dating back to the colonial period here in the Commonwealth. We found a lot of animal bones, which would scare a lot of people, because as you're digging through this, you find these giant sort of hip sections. A lot of cattle, pigs, things like that. There used to be a big farmer's market down here, a butchery, things like that. So a lot of remains that you'd find. Some old teacups, some old weight balance. Back in the day, there was, if you were going to buy a pound of grain, counterweight, we actually looked at it, had the seal of the Commonwealth on it.
So where's all that stuff now?
It's actually going to be in a museum, a Big Dig Museum, once we were all done, but it's currently being stored at UMass Boston. Their archaeological department is going through a lot of it, and their Boston Historical Society is going through a lot of it and documenting it, because a lot of these have personal ties to families, believe it or not, going back hundreds of years.
One of the greatest things will happen when the Central Artery is completed. The second most famous green monster will no longer be existing in our city, the elevated Central Artery. What you'll see in their place, you'll be green grass, open space. the reconnection of the downtown with the waterfront. And that's going to be so important to our city in the future. People look at that and say, gee, what a city. What great planning. It's all done in the public-private partnership. And, you know, the Turnpike, the state, the city of Boston, all working together to make this a better place for people to live. Just think about it. Without the Green Monster, just the open space, places for kids to play, walk to the waterfront, back doors of those office buildings become their front doors. What a magnificent change we'll have on the path of the Central Artery in the future.
There's a website we can go to learn about it, right?
Absolutely. There's a lot of really cool things you got to learn about on this project. And you should go to www.masspike.com. Any questions, any sort of historical questions you have about the project, how we did things, just go right to the website, because you're going to be flying through there, and you really need to appreciate all the work that the men and women did to make this such a cool project.
Do you realize, all of you, as you walk around and you work this big project on a daily basis, do you realize that you're a part of history?
We do, and we certainly appreciate being here at this particular place and time, because this isn't something that's ever been done before, and quite frankly, it's not likely to be done again at this scale.
I'm thinking it's good resume stuff, huh?
It sure is.
In this video, we've tried to give you a sense as to what you need to know to start driving the new roadways. Take some time before you head out to learn the layout. Become more confident as to just where you're going. Here are a few things to keep in mind. On I-90, the existing Mass Pike will be extended 3.5 miles into the Ted Williams Tunnel with exits at South Boston, Logan Airport, and Route 1A. A week later, travelers from the south coming up the expressway will need to make their first decision a lot sooner than before, around Mass Ave. There's a new exit 20 that connects to the new I-90 eastbound with its 3 exits, South Boston, Logan Airport, and Route 1A. But remember, for the first year, you'll still need to take the Sumner Tunnel to return home south. On I-93, there are 3 exits. Exit 20, which not only connects to I-90 east and west, but also gets you to South Station by way of Frontage Road. The next exit is Government Center, then Storrow Drive, and then you're up on the Zachem Bridge. There are also 2 ramps into the Northbound Tunnel, one from Atlantic Ave, another in the north end near Government Center. From the north, heading southbound on the Central Artery, things pretty much remain the same. Knowing these few things in advance will help you get to where you're going as these new highways open. But remember, it is very different now from what you used to. So when in doubt, read the signs. Thanks for watching. I'll see you out on the new roadways. All right, Glenn, where am I now? I need the blue I-90. Now, I'm guessing there's a cross passage. Glenn? Glenn?
Thank you for watching this video. If there's any questions that you had that Billy didn't ask, get onto our website, www.masspike.com. We'll provide you a lot of information to let you know how to use this important new roadway.
This has been a presentation of the Motorist Advantage program. For more information, visit the website and click on eTraveler for free email updates.